Good morning. Welcome to Rich Dad's Cashflow Clubs. In studio with me today is my good friend and business coach, Mr. John Ruman.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
And that person I was telling to put on her headphones is my close personal friend, our Remax agent and our attorney, Tammy Cato.
Good morning, everyone.
And also in studios with us is one of our top agents. We call him the Raw Land Man. His name is Blaine. Well, I shouldn't say your name. You gotta say your name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Blaine Thomas, the Roland Band.
All right, good. Okay, so I like to tease him a bit. So, of course, today we're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about real estate. And, of course, Blaine is going to give his real estate deal of the week. So, we usually say that business and investing are team sports. No matter what business you're going into, you always do it with a team. And if you realize, a lot the people in this studio are part of our team. John and I are going into business together with a new sales training company soon. He and I are team members. He's my business coach, so he's on my team for Cashflow Club, for Mad Science, and for Remax. You know, Blaine is on our Remax team as well as Cashflow Club as a volunteer, and so is Tammy. Now, Tammy is very involved with Remax. She's helping us put everything together and get all paperwork done and make sure all our I's are dotted and all T's are crossed. But, you know, we always say that at Cashflow, we make it so easy for anyone to understand. Even a lawyer can understand it. So Tammy, you're a lawyer. We don't get much lawyers at Cashflow. How come you did Cashflow?
To be honest, Roger, my really good friend, introduced me to the Cashflow Club. And I really had nothing doing at a point in time. So out of pure curiosity, I said, let me go and see what's this all about. So I went in with an open mind and I was blown away.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, all of us were. The Cashflow changed all our lives. Now, you did what year did you graduate from Cashflow?
Well, early last year. And to be honest, in less than 1 year, yes.
Okay.
1 year has been a very long year, but I have been able to change my life tremendously.
Wow. Well, she's now on our Remax team. And I mean, a lawyer who can sell, that's a walking gold mine. And let me tell you, she's finding deals everywhere. She and Blaine are pumping these days. They're busy, right? So, on set here, we love to talk about business and real estate. And of course, we always say business and investing are team sports. We're all part of a team. And what's also important is that when you're building a business, when you have a business to run, one of the best people on your team to have is a coach. A coach is very important. Even in sports, if you don't have a coach guiding your play, showing you your strengths and your weaknesses and strengthening those weaknesses, you don't have the same level of performance as somebody, you know. Well, you will have a superior level of performance to somebody that does not have a coach. And in business, is the exact same thing. In business, we have a coach, and that's John. And John helps us with our day-to-day transactions. Well, not on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, but he looks for all our weaknesses, all our problems, and figures out solutions to them. So, John, you have been in the coaching business for how long now?
Actually coaching about 2 years, but I did a lot of business consulting when I was in the financial world for, I would say, 10 plus years.
Oh, so it wasn't just insurance you're selling, you're actually doing business consulting.
A fair amount of what I actually did when I had the financial company was actually fee-based consulting. So people would pay me to help them create a business, sell a business, come up with ideas, feedback, brainstorming. And it's not very prevalent in Trinidad, but it's very helpful because people, just like with the regular business coaching, people can really move forward with a professional's kind of viewpoint or someone with experience, their viewpoint on what the person's trying to accomplish.
And do you find any sort of cultural similarities between all the local entrepreneurs here in Trinidad that you coach? Besides not being on time.
Besides time, well, that's actually one of the primary reasons
Trinity time.
I chose to create New York time by almost all of my meetings are virtual. I do them with a virtual program.
Right.
But what are the cultural similarities? I would say every entrepreneur I really find are very, very similar. They all have a dream or goal, and they don't always know all the nitty gritty on the business side how to do it. That's kind of where I help. But without an actual vision for what you want to accomplish, I would say most businesses will fail because just making money is not good enough.
You need a mission.
You really do need a mission.
A reason for existence.
Yep.
And one thing you realize, if you talk to any Cashflow Club member, we all know the mission. And our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity. That's why we do what we do. That's why we pay so much money for this radio show. And we do as much cash flow education as possible. In fact, tomorrow, we have our next 6-week Cashflow Club course. It starts at Valpark Shopping Plaza from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It runs for 6 weeks, so there'll be every Wednesday at that time for 6 weeks. In that course, you learn real estate investing, stock market trading, retirement planning, insurance, accounting, finance, business, raising capital. You learn everything you need to know to succeed as an entrepreneur or as an investor.
How would someone find out how to sign up for that course?
Very good. So you can take my number down. My name is Roger Moore, aka 007. My number is, and make sure you get a pencil and paper. My number is 768-6761. That's 768-6761. Give me a call after the show. Book your spot. I think we have about 7 more spots available in the course, right? It's a full house. We have a lot of volunteers that come back. In fact, Tammy, Blaine, and even John come back as volunteers all the time, not just to teach, but also to network and meet other entrepreneurs on the same journey as them. We tend not to do too much business with non-Cashflow Club members because they're risky. Anybody without that level of financial education is a walking risk, especially during this recession. We say that this recession represents a transfer of wealth from those who are not financially educated to those who are. So you've seen it right now in the real estate industry. Everybody else is contracting and decreasing their footprint. We are taking market share. And we're starting off in this industry with 15 agents. You hear that, Terra Caribbean and Massey Realty? 15 agents at the start. So buckle up and enjoy the ride, my friends. Hopefully we can do some co-broking. So, Tammy, you have gotten yourself into a lot of deals, and I heard you had one in Tobago. This expensive one in Tobago. Describe it for us, and I mean, we plan to sell it to the international market, right?
Yes, of course. So my deal in Tobago, a gorgeous, gorgeous property. 5 bedrooms, 8 baths on 20,000 square feet of land. Views of Scarborough Port.
Wow.
The coastline views. It's a magnificent property. There's nothing wrong with that property.
So it's like a mansion, or?
It could qualify as a mansion.
Okay, very
Swimming
good.
pool inclusive, security, everything.
Wow. And what kind of price they looking at?
Well, a lovely price tag of 6.5 million.
6.5 million TT. Right. So, for those that have really expensive homes to sell, more than likely you're not going to get a local buyer. And that's where an international brand like Remax comes in. We have access to the international market. We link up with a lot of agents from all over the world, especially United States and England, which was our present target for this new property. And we're able to list it on their sites, and we get a lot of buyers. We have a lot of action going on. A lot of Americans, Canadians, and British are looking for properties in the Caribbean to buy. And if I'm not mistaken, Trinidad and Tobago is in the Caribbean. We are in a beautiful country that's politically stable. A lot of people dream of living here. So you'll be surprised how many people would buy a property like that. So if you have property to sell that's a bit overpriced for a local market, you give us a call. Call my same number if you can. Not now as in studio, but later on. And listing is free. You give us that listing, we put it up on your website, and we get it sold. We all hustlers, as I like to call it. Hustling is not fooling people. Hustling is sales. And that is the most important skill in business and investing. So, John, have you ever encountered business owners that have no selling ability at all?
I would say many. Well, I'm not going to say a percentage, but I would say many do, and it really holds back the business because unless people, while they may know their product better than anyone, they don't know how to get it out there on a traditional marketing sense or digital or again, more traditional, but they also themselves really cannot let the world know in such a way that the world would actually want to buy it. They are clueless, and they may be total introverts, which again is why if you don't have people who work for you in sales and you're that person who can't sell, you find a team who can help you actually accommodate that.
Yeah. So, Blaine, you're a good salesman. How did you learn to sell?
Well, I learned to sell through the, the road of hard knocks, right?
You're hustling.
I started out in network marketing.
Which network marketing organization?
Amway was the first,
Uh-huh.
and I did a bunch of others after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, challenging that could be to convince somebody to get involved or buy your
Oh,
products.
yeah. We know Trinidad and Tobago love those, what they call it, pyramids. They love that, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, I started reading a lot of sales books
Right.
from a number of distinguished authors.
Which one is your
recently,
favorite?
like Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone is good, eh?
Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy,
Mm-hmm.
a number of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? John Belfort.
John Belfort is really good, yeah.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time doing that. And of course, I did some sales courses.
Mm-hmm.
Dale Carnegie, Upsell Business Solutions, that's a good one also.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting on yours, you and John. Right?
So John and I are starting a sales training company called the Sales Training Academy. So we're putting that together, we're putting that course together, and we are going to sell that course to as many Cashflow Club members as possible because they need sales training. And of course, outsiders, you out there that need to learn how to sell. And if you got downsized or you might get downsized or, you're about to get downsized, you need to learn to sell ASAP. That's your job security.
And I just wanted to add, if you have even if you don't want to start your own company, by learning how to sell, you can work for anyone because all these companies look around you. They need someone to sell their products.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Every single one. Every single one. In fact, the best salespeople, if you look at any successful business organization, the top salesperson is usually the owner of the company. They are the top dogs. Well, the exception of Donald Trump. But everybody else at the head of organizations could real sell. Look at Mr. Sabga himself, old man Sabga.
Mm-hmm.
Great personality. He's the kind of person, if you meet, you want to carry him out for a drink. Because he's so cool and chill and down to earth. Right? All the top business owners in the country are great salespeople. Arthur Lockjack is another classic example. Charming guy. So this is who you have to emulate. And reading books like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, it's a very important step because the book teaches you exactly that. How to win friends and influence people. We are every single human being is in the sales profession. We all sell. It's just that only some of us get paid for it. Right? So, if you're a lawyer and you can sell, you can close more deals and your law firm can grow a lot faster.
Of course.
Right? If you're into real estate, you can sell a lot more real estate. If you're really good at sales and you're able to teach others to sell, you can grow a company a lot faster than usual. Like Jordan Belfort, for example. If you ever heard about the movie called Wolf of Wall Street, 95% of the deals that he made was legit. The 5% that was illegal is what got him into trouble. Jordan Belfort was able to teach others how to sell. That's how he grew his company at a record-breaking pace in Wall Street, the hardest place to make it. And he did it in his early 20s. He is a legend. And now he has his own sales training program, which we want to emulate as much as possible, called the Straight Line System. So Jordan Belfort is a genius. So we want to try and emulate that here in Trinidad and Tobago. We want to revolutionize the real estate industry, and we also want to revolutionize education. So what makes Cashflow different from everybody else is that we don't do classroom style. We use simulations to teach. And because we use simulations to teach, everybody remembers 90% and more of what they do at a Cashflow session. So Blaine did Cashflow, Tammy did Cashflow, and John right here, John did Cashflow. In fact, you did Cashflow before you even met us.
Yeah. I was introduced probably a few years after the book came out. My uncle Christmas gave me the book and the Cashflow game, and we actually played it over Christmas. It was awesome.
Wow,
so much fun. Yeah, but actually, I have to say, Rogers Group has because the amount of people and the energy in the room, it's a highly beneficial and recommended place to go because I think it has a greater learning curve. Mm-hmm. We while we learned something while we played that Christmas, your actual program was much more beneficial, I'd have to say.
Oh, thanks. Comes with practice. We practice every single week. I remember when I first did Cashflow, the first time it completely changed my life. And I've seen the same thing happen with, Tammy and Blaine and others that did Cashflow before. It is one of those moments in your life when you say, okay, I've learned something very important. Now it's time to get serious. I remember when I did Cashflow, I cut my hair. I had long, beautiful dreadlocks like you. Man, I cut my hair immediately. I said, okay, time to get focused. Business first. Up to now, I'm still saying business first to the joy of all my ex-girlfriends and my mom. Business first. This is a recession, and we want to take full advantage of this recession. This is when you start business. This is when you go into real estate during a recession, right? So people like Blaine are finding deals all over the place. So Blaine, I know we have a little time, but we usually want to do our Remax Real Estate Deal of the Week. So what do you have for us here today for the Remax Real Estate Deal of the Week?
Well, I have two beautiful, pristine lots in Palmis Block 5 on Philippine Road. Now, Palmis is a very upscale, high-end neighborhood, right?
And for those people that don't pass the lighthouse, Palmis is in San Fernando, close to Gulf City down that side.
So the two lots go for 1.8 and 1.2 million. The one that's 1.8 million is approximately 9,000 square feet, and the one that's 1.6 is approximately 8,000 square feet. Besides, I also have one lot on Pond Street, La Romaine, San Fernando.
Street?
Pond, P-O-N-D.
Pond Street.
Yeah,
oh,
Pond.
Thank God.
Right.
Thought this country is going to.
That one is a little cheaper, 900,000.
Okay.
And so those are some pretty good deals. You can give me a call if you're interested. My number is 739-0422. That's 739-0422.
Okay, so if you're interested in finding out more about those Roland deals, the Roland man is here. Give him a call at
739-0422.
739-0422. So give him a call anytime. Find out more about those deals. Even if it's your auntie that's interested, let her give Blaine a call, the Roland man. Right. So we got some more time. So John, I love your coaching. And I mean, your coaching has really helped me get a different perspective of my business.
Thank you.
I mean, every week we rush to get things done before the call, but at least we're accountable to somebody to stay on track. Because I know when we business owners, we do so much things at the same time. We lose track, and before you know it, 3 months have passed. So how are you able to get people to stay on track like that?
Accountability. You actually hit it. By them saying, I commit in this next, let's say, week. I commit in this next week to doing these 3 things. And you don't make it this giant list because we'll never get through it.
Yeah, exactly. Multitasking.
So you can't have a list more than 3, right? So you say, I will commit to these 3 things. And I ask them, are you sure you can do this? Oh, absolutely. And I say, well, then state that actual sentence, and it hits them in their gut. And they know, I will do this. Not, I'm going to try. Kind of like Yoda. Yoda said, there is no try. There's only do.
Only do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So by them committing, they viscerally feel that they'll do it. And I have to say, 95% do majority, do 3 or most of them. Because some are kind of, a longer span, simple goal. But I truly think that's the reason. And going back to the vision and the mission, if they're not really feeling it and they don't have this internal drive or spark within them, I always say, why are you doing this? There's 3 questions a guy named Vishen Lakiani of Mind Valley said. What are the experiences you want to have? How do you want to grow from it? And how do you want to feel a sense of contribution from it? So if you can feel those and understand why you're really doing what you're doing, you will do it without the needing to watch exciting videos by Tony Robbins or whatever floats your boat. You will naturally wake up excited, like Roger gets up all early every morning.
All the time.
He's like, every morning is Christmas morning for Roger.
Every
But if you can get that internal drive without fighting too much with the outside stimulation and just feel it within, and the daily routine, which is why I'm always harping on people doing a daily routine, you will very naturally want to do it. And then when we meet, we're like, good, I did it. I also did one extra thing. Let's move on next week. And they just, as they do it, the momentum builds, and by a few weeks, they're so freaking excited they can't wait for the next session.
Wow. Yeah, I can relate to that. So on average, what's the average amount of time amount of weeks that you spend on a client for a coaching program?
Many people, it's ongoing. So what I tell them to do is commit to 90 days.
Right.
Because 90 days is not so short, like a month, like a 4-week time frame. And I tell them meet every week, every other week. And once we set 3 90-day goals, again, the number 3 again. And then once we move through that time frame, they usually recommit, or they say we're good for now, and I may talk to them in a year. But most people, it's basically every 3 months, every 3 months, every 3 months, fairly ongoing, depending how naturally driven they are and really want to get to where they want to go.
Nice. So if you ever want to see John, he'll also be at Cashflow. He's one of our speakers. He gets a lot of Cashflow members to sign up for his coaching program because they need it. They all need a coach. In addition to John, we also have other people that have courses. Like, for example, Terrell Melville has his property management course for those property owners that need that skill. What other courses we have? We have Leonard Bihari has his real estate course as well. He has a new cycle starting soon, Blaine?
May 27th.
May 27th. So he's starting a new cycle on May 27th for all those that want to do real estate and want to do that real estate course. It's really, really good. We all did his real estate course. All those that want to sign up for Remax, you got to do Cashflow and you got to do that real estate course first. That's how it is, right? So he's also involved in Cashflow. We send a lot of people to him because we believe in his program. It's really good. And, it's affordable. So the real estate industry in Trinidad and Tobago is opening up. We already seen some changes in St. Augustine since we have come. Right, I can't go into too much detail, but it's not just our office. There's some properties close by that we have gotten the owners to do some work on it to put it on the market. So, St. Augustine is getting a facelift piece by piece. We want to eventually invade the Point Lisas area with our services. So we're heading down there soon. We haven't reached us yet, but we're heading down there soon. Right. So again, to find out more about Remax, you give me a call again because, we're the head of the company. And what's really strange is that there's actually a Cashflow Club owner that's part of the Remax franchise. And that's actually a big deal to a lot of people at headquarters in Denver, Colorado. So for all those that are listening on air from abroad, we welcome you. This is, welcome to Rich Dad's Cashflow Clubs. We are trying our best to break records at the Remax franchise. We already hit a little milestone with our 15 agent start. I don't think that has ever been done before. And we're in the world's #1 region, Latin America and the Caribbean. So that's a great start. We can't wait to break the sales records. We're looking forward to that, and having a sales training company might give us a fighting chance in that regard, right? So Tammy is also very involved. She's there on a daily basis. So are you allowed to, you're not allowed to give your number on air or anything like that. Yeah, lawyers have their rules. So Tammy, what's your favorite deal right now besides your Tobago deal?
Well, I got 3 listings yesterday, so I'm excited about that.
3 in one day?
Yes.
What did you do?
I can't tell you.
Let's give Sharon a call, boyfriend. What is Tammy doing yesterday? So 3 from one person or?
All from one person. It's amazing.
Good for you.
I think it's about building a relationship and trust.
Yes.
With real estate, it's all about trust.
It's true.
So once they realize that you are competent enough to take care of their property, oh yes,
Mm.
they will give you all their properties
Yeah.
to handle.
Just like one of our agents, Carol. Carol just got one deal and she performed so well. The property owner was like, I have another property, and he gave it to her immediately for listings. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our session, and oh gosh, we love doing this radio show, but we have to go, and we'll be back next week at the same time. So,
If you want to reach me, I do offer a free coaching session. My number is 744-8555. Again, 744-8555.
so if you need coaching, give him a call. Blaine.
Or if anyone's interested in doing the real estate course, you can also give me a call. My number is 739-0422.
Right, so Blaine is compiling numbers for the real estate course. Tammy, anything to say before you leave?
My pet peeve is persons don't sign on the dotted line. Please commit and sign on the dotted line before giving anyone your property to sell.
Oh my, sign on that dotted line. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Roger Moore, 007. Thank you so much for listening to Rich Dad's Cashflow Clubs. See you guys next week.